Hello, cannabis community, or anybody interested in learning more about cannabis awareness. I had written a blog about this topic back in 2020. I don't think many saw it, but I've decided to do a podcast about my blog. And so I'm going to share that with you, and there'll be a link in the show notes, and then I will elaborate on this topic and probably be doing more topics because there's a lot of topics that you can do around cannabis. And so I'm sure we'll talk more about this subject in the future. So cannabis is a plant. I'm sure everybody has heard about her for a long time now, and she's becoming more readily available. She's kind of in her own special category of herbs, very prized, and stores or dispensaries covering a wide array of products that are made from her medicine all over the United States, or at least in legal states, which is over half of our states now. So I'm going to talk about what I put in my blog back in 2020 first, which was that I've been told that this is one of my cosmic plants that I need in my life. And that was really cool when I heard that, because I had already used cannabis over the years pretty regularly. Although I wouldn't say that I'm somebody that is addicted to it. I don't really actually feel like it's a highly addictive plant. Some may argue that, but I think it's, or maybe it's, certain personalities have more of an addictive personality, that they just overly use the plant. But I really respect this plant as medicine. And so I'm kind of going off on a tangent now, but naturally, maybe intuitively, I have sustainably used this herb most of my adult life as needed, ever since the age of 16. Not too young, but I would say around the age of 16 is when I first started experimenting with her. Definitely one of my favorite plants to grow and use as medicine. Personally, I have grown many plants over the years and helped others grow their medicine they needed to use for an array of ailments. Beyond disease, cannabis is used as a mind-expanding plant to help one with knowing oneself better, bringing creative thoughts, and feeling at ease. Contrary to what some may believe, this herb can be a quite motivating factor to get shit done. The trick sometimes is to know your limits and strains. Like many ancient plants used in agriculture, it has been hybridized many times to generate endless numbers of strains. So, know your strain. Finding the best one for you is key. I grow organic high-grade plants that are usually hybrid, meaning strain has both indica and sativa traits. Cannabis is extremely special in history, dating back 36 million years to one of the highest plateaus in Central Asia. From there, it spread across the world, moving northward into China and Europe, where its properties for fiber were discovered. When moving southward into India, Middle East, and Africa, where its psychoactive use and healing properties caught on. Wherever she was introduced, more discoveries of her broad uses were noted, ranging from medicinal, dietary, and industrial. A characteristic of some of the oldest cultivation of plants is that they serve multiple purposes, from fiber to food to medicine. This is diversity at its best, dating back to 2900 BC. Today, after long-awaited anticipation to reestablish legalization after nearly 80 years of prohibition in the U.S., there is an overwhelming resurgence of information flooding the nation, especially in the form of CBD, also known as cannabidiol. This is the most prevalent of the many identified phytocannabinoids, which are the powerful healing compounds found in the plant, as well as some others, which we'll also discuss. For many years, it was put to the wayside as scientists and researchers sought after THC, what was thought to be the most important active ingredient of cannabis for many, many years. THC, also known as tetrahydrocannabinol, is the mind-altering component of or compound of the plant, although there are other cannabinoids that do have a slight psychoactive effect. Growers in NorCal and Europe also focused on breeding high THC strains beginning in the 1970s, weeding out most of the CBD strains. This is also when many anti-cancer studies went underway on cannabinoids with promising results. THC works by binding directly on the endocannabinoid receptor sites within our own endocannabinoid system. Yes, each and every one of us have one of these in our bodies. In a similar way to that of anandamide. Anandamide, which is a feel-good neurochemical produced by the human body as well as in other mammals. On the other hand, CBD produces its profound anti-inflammatory, or most potent of all the phytocannabinoids. Anti-anxiety, anti-psychotic, anti-spasmodic, and analgesic, second only to THC. Effects by indirectly stimulating these same receptors through inhibition of the enzyme that metabolizes and destroys anandamide, allowing it to be more available to the body. So what's really happening is CBD is giving the body the opportunity to heal itself by assisting balance to the endocannabinoid system. It's been proven safe and effective for pain relief. This is really helping with the opiate crisis in many states where cannabis is now legal. CBD is saving lives across the nation. This component alone is being sought after for many treatments ranging from cancer to seizures. It plays a major role in the central nervous system and the immune system by activating and inhibiting non-cannabinoid receptors, as well as enhancing the synthesis and activity of anandamide. High CBD dosages, which are different per individual, actually block inflammation processes in the brain and the body. Inflammation within us is what causes pain in the body. CBD balances psychotropic effects of THC when taken together, but not lowering blood levels of THC. Only CBD has shown to promote bone fusion, improving collagen profile and healing the connective tissue system. Also, CBD uniquely converts inflammatory, weight-promoting, and cardiac-damaging white fat into anti-inflammatory, weight-losing, and cardiac-protective brown fat. I must mention that no other phytocannabinoid appears to protect against the destruction of the heart muscle caused by diabetes. This is research that was done that I will put in the show notes by Leonard Linnau in 2017. He's got a book that he contributed to that is all about CBD and other cannabinoids, and it's an amazing read. This is probably also due to the amazing anti-inflammatory qualities that CBD holds. It's very miraculous, right? Okay, yes. Amazing CBD. Cannabidiol. Check out this research study that I'm going to put in the show notes from 2023 that shows 399 diverse beings experience improved health in many areas after using cannabis for 3 months. Participants, they reported significant improvements across all domains of their quality of life just after 3 months of medical cannabis use. Report in the show notes. And the first discovered of the phytocannabinoids was actually CBN, which is cannabinol, not cannabidiol, cannabinol, way back in 1930. Yes, that's right. Cannabinol. Sorry, we're just talking about CBD. Cannabinol, CBN, was the first in 1930. So I'm going to discuss a synergistic effect or entourage effect of a plant. A lot of you have probably heard of isolates, or, we touched on the different compounds in plants. So if something is an isolate, that means that one compound from the plant, which was discovered to be useful as medicine, was extracted from the plant, and then everything else is pretty much not part of that medicine if it's an isolate. Now, if you were to find a supplement that was either a cannabis product or any other herbal supplement on the shelf, I always check to see if it is full spectrum, like the whole plant, and not just an isolate or one compound extracted from the plant, or standardized extract. If you see that, that means that there is just one compound of the plant that is in that product, that it's not the whole plant. I believe, and what I learned in school, is it's good to have the synergistic or the entourage effect of the whole herb to get all the benefit from that herb. So the entourage effect is what actually makes cannabis really therapeutic. The body may respond positively to an isolate like CBD or any other isolate, but for specific things. But remember, our own endocannabinoid system in our body is very complex. CBD and THC are both good for inflammation. They have anti-inflammatory properties, each accomplishing in a different way, resulting in a more diverse and robust response, is a result of two compounds working together. Different compounds may do the same thing, but then they do other things too, and it all works together. God knew what she was doing, and she, the universe, when she made plants for us to use as medicine. They were made for a reason, the way that they were made, and I don't believe that we should be altering them and isolating certain compounds to try to, profit from it. Cannabis being as complex as she is, she not only has all these different cannabinoids, I think there's like 120 or something, maybe it's more than that, but something like that, of just the cannabinoids have been discovered. She also has terpenes, and I'm going to talk about some of the more common ones here. Terpenes are common chemical compounds found in plants. They function as major biosynthetic cellular messengers. All cannabinoids are classified as terpenes. Oils that are secreted from the flowers and leaves on the female plants. The flavors and smells identify particular strains as well as the medicinal effects. Here I'm going to give a brief description of a few of my favorite terpenes that are in plants. And there's some really good, I'll give a couple links to some really good websites that you can look up a strain, and it tells you all of the terpenes, the profile of that plant, and what you can find in the plant, a description of what each terpene does. So just check out the links that I'll leave in the show notes, and you can get more information on this. So the first one is pinene. Pinene is also found in conifer trees such as pine and fir. It's anti-inflammatory, bronchial dilator. It aids in memory and focus, and it's antibacterial, among, I'm sure, many other attributes. This is a brief description, remember. Linalool, also found in lavender, is anti-inflammatory, anticonvulsant, analgesic. It aids in anxiety and eases stress. Myrcene, found in hops also. Higher myrcene levels are in indica strains, contributes to the sedative effect, aiding in sleep, acting as a muscle relaxant and analgesic for pain. Limonene is also found in citrus. It treats acid reflux. It's an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, nervine. It aids in the feeling of euphoria and is uplifting, so would aid in depression. That's, why it's an antidepressant, because it makes you feel uplifted and happy. There are many, many more terpenes and terpenoids I want to talk about in the future in more detail. This is a fascinating subject, to say the least. The bottom line here is that cannabis plays a critical role in regulation of all diseases, restoring balance when illness or injury occurs. A 2013 review article from researchers Packer and Kunos, sorry if I'm mutilating your names, states modulating endocannabinoid activity may have therapeutic potential in almost all diseases affecting humans. So if this is new news to any of you, or you want to hear more about the cannabis topics that I'll be sharing, please stay tuned because there's so much more to share about this miraculous herb. She is definitely one of my favorites. I've been using her as medicine for about 35 years now, and I probably will until I die. In most recent years, I've really been using her as medicine for pain. There's also, other reasons why I use this medicine, but unfortunately, for about the last 5 years or so, I've had chronic pain. There were other times in my life where I had chronic pain for a while for various reasons, but this kind of pain, I think, is honestly just a sign of my age and kind of what happens when you start getting into your 40s and your body starts changing and you don't have as much collagen, which is another podcast that I made about that. And we just really need to, support our bones and our structural system and take care of ourselves so we don't get these ailments that cause inflammation and pain in that way. And cannabis has been very, very helpful, very safe to use. And I can just go on and on. So I'm going to stop here and not make this segment too long. I thank you for listening and have a beautiful day.
Take my mind away. Take my mind away.